Welcome to RBN, the RacinBoys Broadcasting Network. I'm Scott Traylor with Scotty Cook. We're on Daytona Beach, where it is Speed Weeks down here in the great Southeast. Scotty, we have been fortunate to be able to go out to Volusia, where it's been the UMP Dirt Car Nationals. The first two nights for the sprint car action, though, was the All-Star Circuit of Champions. The first night, Donnie Schatz wins, but the real story when it comes to competition was Kyle Larson.
Young money came from well within the field behind the wheel of the Tony Stewart plain wrap, Tony Stewart Racing 14. And let me tell you, folks, the young man, chock full of talent, hadn't seen him in a sprint car in a little while, was banging the walls down at Volusia Park.
You know, I talked about Kyle Larson coming from 15th to run second is the biggest story. A lot of people would say the biggest story was the accident that happened between Jason Johnson and Joey Saldana. Very scary incident. It looked like it could have been much worse as the car exits the track over the fence, clipping the front board of the Turn 2 grandstands, the final grandstands over in Turn 2, flying near a bunch of pedestrians and people in the pits. Scotty, you know, we're glad to see that Joey walked away, and we're sorry that it junked out a car of Jason Johnson. It was just a racing deal. But the problem is that what could have happened. I guess it's not a problem. We're blessed that what could have happened didn't happen.
As frightening and as close as you will see or want to see. You and I had a front row seat of it. It happened in Turn 2. We were standing inside of turn number 2. And crazy as it was to see Joey, after a badly timed slide job from Jason, he'll self-admit that it was not a move that stuck the way he wanted it to, and pretty much ended up pancaking Joey into the wall and almost nearly scaled the top of a 12-foot tall catch fence. He went through the top portion of it, then landed where spectators were standing in front of the grandstands, and after he made his first landing, went over again and clipped barely, I do believe, the corner of those grandstands. And all we saw was sprint car parts and Joey and his race car flying through the air and people scattering. And thank goodness, just to reiterate what you said, unbelievable that no one got hurt, and a frightening looking incident that turned out okay. No worse for wear other than a couple of wadded up race cars and a couple of bruised egos.
Yeah. And somebody was looking down on the crowd that night, I promise you that, folks. Yeah. Night number 2, Scotty.